who attended this class and everybody who registered for this class a copy of that recording. You'll get a link so that you can access it. And you're going to get 2 step-by-step guides. You're going to get one that's going to show you how to do EasyCMA from within EasyCMA, and then how to add comps or start your CMA outside of it, and then jump into CMA, EasyCMA. So we're going to talk about all that today, but you're going to get those as well. And you are also have been welcome to our very first GPR MLS is able to offer to you via Zoom a 1 hour of CAT. We did get this class approved from the Nebraska Real Estate Commission, but with that, there are some rules that I am required to follow, and I'm going to run through those real quickly with you. And please understand, if something happens and you don't get credit, it's because I have to, not because I want to. We do require 100% of your attendance. I need to be able to see you in your Hollywood Square for the entire class, and it is very helpful if you have your name in there as well. Also need 100% of your attention, which means no online shopping, no conversations not regarding this class, no phone calls, and no driving. If you're in and out, we can see that there's other things happening in your little Hollywood Square while you're in the class, or that you're driving. I absolutely can't issue the 1 hour of CAT, and I'm sorry, but those are the rules, and I got to follow them too. So with that, I think I've covered everything. We've still had a few people that have come in as I've been talking. So welcome again to EasyCMA Made Easy. We have a lot of information to cover. I'm going to be moving quickly, which is why you're going to get a recording as well as those 2 study guides. And of course, you can always reach out to me, give me a call, and I can help you through it, or do a Zoom on, online with you, whatever it is that you're needing. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I would like to introduce to you, for those of you who may not know, who your GPR MLS team is. You can always find our information at gprmls.com. Go to the staff page. You'll find all of our information. Looks a lot like this does. So I'm going to start with Renee. Renee Westfall is our MLS customer data and customer support administrator. She handles all of the general assistance, data integrity, think accuracy, as well as our data feeds and data vendor access. And we actually call her our data feed guru because she's that good. Guys, if you've got questions about data feeds or data vendor access, think those realtor.com, Zillow, Homes, all of that stuff, homes.com. She would be the person that you'd want to talk to. Also, if you're just not quite sure who to talk to, she is a great place to start with, because she can either help you herself or she can get you going in the right direction. Following Renee, we have Beth Powers. She is our MLS compliance administrator. She handles all things MLS rules compliance. So if you've got questions, you're not sure, can you say this? Can you do this? Oh my gosh, I put it in the wrong status. Beth is the person that you want to give a call to, because she can help you with that. She also handles the data integrity, think that accuracy piece, as well as Paragon system issues, meaning Paragon's not working quite right. Beth is the person you would like to reach out to. And if you want to know a little bit more about MLS rules, have a voice in all of that, she is also our liaison for that, MLS users group, and she can answer all your questions about that, tell you about it, and when those meetings are. Denise Mache is our MLS operations manager. Denise has been with the MLS for 18 years, so she has watched us grow. She has a ton of experience. She keeps her finger on the pulse of everything that's happening within the real estate industry with MLS, and asks those questions that need to be asked until she gets the answers that she needs, so that she can educate us, so that we can serve you, because that's what we're really here for, is to help you. Then me, I'm JC. If you didn't know me, you didn't know you had a trainer, you definitely do now. I am your MLS customer training and support administrator, and I handle all the training stuff that's within Paragon. So Paragon Professional, Paragon Connect, as some of you already know, and some may not know, Paragon Professional and Paragon Connect are the same MLS. It's one and the same. It's just that Paragon Connect's made to go with you on your cell phone. So I work with you guys on that, as well as all the tools that are housed within that. So CRS data and RPR, InfoSparks, Fast Stats, all the things. Prior to this position, I was an agent, just like you guys. I started my career about 26 years ago in Colorado. Loved it so much, went back, got my employing broker's license. I've practiced in Missouri as well as right here in Nebraska. So I think that helps me when we're chatting and we're talking about what it is you're trying to accomplish with Paragon, because I've been out there and I've done it. So I think it just helps us have that conversation a little better. You can find all of us again at gprmls.com. Go to the staff page. You'll find our contact information. We are available to you Monday through Friday from 8 to about 4:45. You can call us, text us, as well as email us. If you do not receive a call or a text or a phone call, an email back from us within 24 hours, and it's not a holiday, please reach out to us again, because something horrible happened and we did not get your message. We are not ignoring you. So if you could give us that grace, that would be awesome. And for those of you who have just arrived, I do have to go over the CAT requirement for the Nebraska Real Estate Commission. This class was approved for 1 hour of CAT, but you must be in the class, the entire class. So if you leave and come back, you won't get that certificate from me. You also need to be in your Hollywood Square, visible. That's really important, as well as your name there, and you can't be doing other things. So if you're driving, talking to somebody, taking calls, having a little group meeting about something else in your square, we're going to see that, and I will not be able to issue the certificate. You are going to get from me, after this class is done, no later than next week, you will get your certificate. You will get a link for this recording, and you're going to get 2 step-by-step guides that I've put together for you. So with that, let's talk about what we're going to learn today. You are going to learn how to access EasyCMA. You're going to learn how to access that from within Paragon Connect. And then you can also access it from within if you start out in Paragon Professional. So I'm going to show you both of those things. You also can customize EasyCMA settings. I'm going to walk you through that so you can learn to do it. You can add, remove, and rearrange your comps. We're going to work about that too. That way you can have them in the order that you want. If you don't like a comp, you can take it out. If you want to add a specific comp into your CMA, you can sure do that in EasyCMA as well. And you can generate a professional CMA report, and you can send that CMA via email. You can print it. You can text it too. And I'm going to show you how to email and prepare to print as well. Okie dokie. So what is the purpose of doing a CMA, a comparative market analysis? Anybody want to throw anything out there? Well, there's a lot of reasons why we would do a CMA, but the most common reason that we use them for sellers so that they'll set a realistic listing price to attract buyers and to sell as quickly as possible for the most money available that they can get, right? And we also use it for our buyers so that they are making reasonable offers without overpaying, because nobody wants to overpay. Those are the most common reasons, but we all know that there are other reasons why we might do a CMA. We might need to do a broker price of opinion. We might need to be helping somebody who wants to do a dispute with their property taxes. There's all kinds of reasons. I'm not going to go through them all because you know what they are, but these 2 are the most common ones that we're going to use, and those are the examples I'm going to use today. All right, so where and why should we use EasyCMA? Well, I'm going to start with the why. It's really, really easy, and it's really, really fast. There are lots of different ways to do a CMA within Paragon. You can use their full-blown, very robust in Paragon Professional CMA program. It even comes with a wizard. You could use CRS data to do it. A lot of you use RPR, but they came out with one that works right here on your cell phone. And let's say you meet with somebody and you're having coffee and they bring it up. They're thinking about selling their house. You can very easily, quickly, right here on your phone, do a CMA and send it to them right then, right there, within about 10 minutes. Typically, it takes you a little bit longer to do a CMA. I don't know about you, but I'm an agent. I'm a little slow. I want to make sure I have all the things, and it could take me an hour to do a really good CMA. Not everybody takes that long, but some of you do. Some of you take a little longer. So it is available to you in Paragon Connect wherever you are. So you could do it in your office as well. And again, in your car, at the baseball game, at the wherever, at the grocery store if you really wanted to. Okay, so we're going to start this by starting from the EasyCMA page. I am going to leave these slides. I am going to keep it up on my side just to make sure that I cover all the things that I want to cover, but you're not going to see them anymore. We're going to jump right into Paragon. I'm going to get logged in here. Okay. So I am in Paragon Professional here. I told you can access Paragon or EasyCMA from Paragon Professional. I'm going to show you how. All you do is go right up here where you normally would go for CMA, and right here is the EasyCMA. You can click on that. It will take you right into Paragon Connect and where EasyCMA is. You can also go to Paragon Connect by using the icon if you didn't log directly into it. And here you're seeing mine, and I've customized mine up the way I want to see it. But if you go to your main menu and then go right over here, EasyCMA is located right there for you. And when you click on it, it takes you right into it. Now, if you've never used EasyCMA, I know it came out yesterday. Some of you have probably jumped in there to take a look at it, maybe played with it a little bit. Some of you have gone, oh, I'm going to wait until JC does a class. I don't know. So if you haven't done anything with it, you're seeing a blank screen, okay, with a little plus there so that you can get started. I've played with mine a little bit, so I've got a few things in progress. I've got a few things that are sitting there from a while ago, and so that's what you would see if you've done anything with it. The first thing we're going to do is I want to show you what it looks like before we actually do it. So I'm just going to jump in here real quick into one. This is what you're going to see. You see that Google Maps is pulling pictures. You can add your own picture. It gives you some property information, tells me who it was created for. I have an introduction that I put in. You can do one every single time that you type it up, or you can have a default. I'm going to show you how to do that. It then gives you a suggested price with a price range. You are fully able to edit that as the agent. You are going to be showing your client, possible clients, I should say, what it is you want them to see. And then it gives them the property details, which you can edit. Gives a nice little map so they can see where these properties are in conjunction to their property. And then it lists the property. So I'm just paging through this so you can see this is what you're going to see when you're done. And it's very customizable. Okay. So from here, I'm going to go back to the home button. And how do I do that from here? I want to go back. Well, I could hit the back button of my browser if I wanted to, or I could just go up here and click on home. That brings me right back to the home of EasyCMA. To start an EasyCMA, I'm going to start by hitting the little plus sign there. Plus means I can add. I can use a listing ID if it had a listing ID in the past that I want to use. Maybe they've listed with you before. Now they're coming back. And you want to get it that way. Or you can do an address search, which is where I usually end up starting. And you plug in your address that you're looking for, and you'll notice that all these different addresses came up, and it does tell you it's powered by Google because Google search has been integrated into here. So it's going to do that for you. Find your address from there or continue to type if you need to. And then what it does is it places a pin on what looks like a Google map. You have the capacity to put that pin wherever it needs to be. All you do is pick it up, you click on it, I'm using my mouse, so I'm clicking on it and holding my little button there, and I can move it to wherever it is I need. Now this is exactly where it needs to be, so I'm not gonna bother that. But you might need to, if you're working in a newer neighborhood or new construction, you might need to move that pin, and you can certainly do that. Once you've got it where you want it, you can just click confirm up here on the upper right.
Hey, JC.
Yes.
You have a question in the chat. Oh, I see Beth might have answered it here.
Okay.
Uh, Joel wants to know if there's a trick to have a home on a corner lot show the front of the house view picture versus the side of the house, and that Joel's noticed that happens in RPR as well. So I don't know
What's
if you can.
happening is that is how it's coming from Google Maps. And so there's not a lot of control there. But the one thing I do love about Google Maps is see these wonderful little arrows in here? I can move these around however I want to see them by clicking and moving. And so if I need to move that a little bit, I can. Now keep in mind that for your CMA, it's pulling it from Google Maps, so that's what you're going to see, but you can upload your very own picture. So if you don't like what Google Maps is bringing, just go by it at some point when you're out and about, snap a picture, and then you can upload it. I'm actually going to show you how to do that. I mean, we're not going to leave my office and go watch me snap a picture and then come back, but I'm going to show you how to upload a photo. Okay, so here we are. It's pulled the information in for me. If I need to edit this, I certainly can. If maybe it pulled it up as 130 East Cherrywood Drive, and my person that I'm working with says it says East, but it's not. I could take that East right out of there because that's what I need to do. Or I could leave it if I need to add a unit number, a suite, building number, all of those things. This particular property is a single family residence, so I'm going to choose that. And if I need to edit anything, sometimes you get into a situation where they've finished off a basement and they've finished a bedroom that's got a legal conforming bedroom in it, and so now it's a 4-bedroom but not a 3-bedroom. You can update that. This is your CMA. It's customizable how you need it. It should pull this in. Now you'll notice it said the garage capacity. It's talking about it has how many places can I put a garage in there, and it had 0. Okay, well, it clearly has one, and I know that because when I was talking with a person wanting to sell, they told me that. So I'm just going to change it. 1. That's what it has. You've got your living area, and this is just very basic lot size, as well as the year built. And then I'm just going to click next once you're happy with it. Well, what it's going to do now is going to show you where those properties are in conjunction to where the house is. So you've got your pin here, that's showing you where the house is, and then it's showing you where they are in comparison. And if I were to upload, just zoom in on that a little bit more, it spread out those numbers to show me the comps that it has. I'm going to put that back a little bit. And then I can scroll through here because this is all of the comps that it pulled up for me. It's going to pull 10. I'm going to try to pull 10. If you don't have 10 available around it, then it's not, but it's going to try to pull 10. And you can go through here and look through them. You can see that it's got the statuses here, all the information here. And there's a pending one in there. Well, darn it. I like for my pendings, and I even like my actives be at the top of my CMA. So I like my actives or news or, in there. Then I like to have my pendings, and then I like my solds, and I like if it happens to be in that neighborhood on that street, I want those, of course, at the top because my client is going to be very aware of that, right? So you can adjust how you want your comp order to show. You just come back up here, hit that edit. And I'm going to go find this pending one and click and drag. You may have to do it a couple of times to get it up to the very top if you need to, just like I did. But now I've got that where I want it. I like to have these skyways. Look, the skyway should be next to the skyway. That's just easier, I think, when I'm talking with them. Put this one there, but I want it to be in order of the addresses. Yes, I know, I'm OCD. I got it. All right. And maybe I want to leave these. Oh, this one is on the street this property is in. So maybe I want to put that one up more to the top. There we go. And if I'm happy with that, I could click on save. If I am not seeing a comp that I want to see, and I've got the address or the MLS ID number, I can manually enter that comp. Just by clicking that manually add, I can choose the address search or the listing ID, click OK, and then just start typing that in. Now, I don't particularly have one. Well, I'll just put a fake one in here. We'll add this one. And I want to select it, and it put it right in here for me. And it'll add it to the bottom. All right, now let's say I don't want one of these. Maybe I don't feel like this is a good comp. I'm going to take this one out because that looks like it's maybe a split level and mine is on a slab. So I think I'm going to throw that one out. I'm just going to click remove. What happens is it puts it down here below the bar so that it's still there. So if I change my mind and I say, yeah, I shouldn't have taken that one out, I want to put it back. All I have to do is click on select. It puts it back in there, but I haven't lost it, okay? Now it's only going to do that while I'm working actively with it. Once I hit generate CMA, I'm not going to see that anymore. So beware of that. So I'm going to remove that because I don't want that there. Okay, you also will see that there's some adjustments and notes that I can make for each one of these. And so I think I'm going to go in here. We've got my property is a 3-bedroom and this one's a 4-bedroom. And as you know, we always make adjustments to the comparable. I can make any notes in here that I want. And I can also adjust it by price. And since this has 4 bedrooms and not 3 bedrooms, I'm going to subtract. And please, I'm going to put in some really ridiculous numbers here because I don't want anybody to have the idea that I know the secret numbers that you should be doing for adjusting for all these different things. So please don't do it. But I'm going to subtract off and I'm just going to say, oh, I think bedrooms are worth 6,000. So I'm going to take that off. And it's got the same amount of bedroom or bathrooms or square footage is okay. It's got garage. All of that's good. So I'm going to save it. I could go through and do that for each one of my comparables if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that today because I've given you that idea. I am going to show you how you can customize
Sorry,
this.
JC.
Yes.
Sorry, I could tell when I unmuted, I interrupted your train of thought there. You have questions coming in. There's quite a few.
Okay.
So I don't know how do you want to handle those?
Beth, are you good to let me know what those
But
questions?
I
Or
know
you?
I can let you know she's
That's fine.
taking care of something. Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted me to wait till you were done with this part. But
Let's
okay,
just go. Let's
so
go.
let's wrap from the beginning just so that we get them covered. So Susan asked, assuming total living area is above grade square feet. So where she's going back to is clear is your subject property. When it pulled in that data,
Mhm.
where does that data come from for the subject property that was auto-populated right when you
Right. It's
started
pulling
this?
it from the public records. It may also pull it if it has been in the MLS before. So it's going to pull those fields over for you. You can
And
always adjust it if you need to.
do you recall whether that's above grade or total? I think that's ultimately the question.
If it's pulling it above grade or total,
Yeah, for that field that says, I don't have it in front of
I
me.
believe it's pulling above grade.
Okay, so we could find that out though and
Yeah.
confirm
Yeah.
with you all afterwards.
Yep.
Okay, and then the next question, does that, Susan, is that, and let me see, I don't see, I have so much stuff up on my screen here looking for your face. Um, if you need more details than that, let me know, Susan. Okay, just throw it in the chat. Um, and then this next question is, what criteria does it use for comps as far as distance and age, and is that editable? So can you
It's
edit, yeah, what's used and can you edit that
you can,
criteria?
and that where that breaks down. Let me. That's a two-part question. So let's start with how is it pulling the comps? It's going to be pulling closest to the property. It's going to pull bedrooms and bathrooms, and it's going to try to get close with the square footage. That is where it's going to pull from. Now, if you don't like the idea of the system doing it for you, there is a way for you to pull your comps on your own and then bring them into EasyCMA, and I am going to show you how to do that today. It's also going to be in that's one of the guides that I'm giving you. So you're going to have 2 guides, one doing it the way I'm doing it right now, and then you're going to have another guide that is going to show you how to find your own comps and then pull those comps into here so that you have the comps in here that you want. You can also manually add a comp, and we just did that. So you have the ability to customize this as little or as much as you want.
Okay, I think that's really helpful to know that they can go in Paragon and do their own because I think it's going to touch on a few more of the questions
Mm-hmm.
that we have here. But we actually had this following one as staff when we met with you. CMAs in small towns sometimes need to include nearby towns. Can I pull in additional towns? And that was from Charmaine.
You can. Um, and that's going to be that second piece of how you can find your own comps and then pull them into here.
Okay. And then the next one is I just searched an address and it's a 2-story. Only ranch is populated for comps. Is there a way to identify the style type?
There is not a way to identify the style type at this time within EasyCMA, but again, you can pull your comps, find your comps outside of it, and pull them in.
And then Thomas asked, do we use above ground square feet or total square feet, which kind of thing ties back to that original for the
Mm-hmm.
subject property and
Yep.
for what it means here where it says it's approximate square feet,
Mm-hmm.
whether that means above grade or total, including finished below.
Right.
And my understanding is that
It's
we believe it's above, but
I
we'll get
believe it's above, and
clarification.
here's my test on that. I have a property that I was testing this on, and it always brought in the above square footage. It did not bring in my total finished square footage of the house, which was on a walkout. basement area, but it was total living and total finished and everything. And it always brought in that above grade.
I think these are all really good points about that
They
square
are.
footage field and the fact that people receiving this report maybe don't know that. So
Mhm,
maybe as staff, we can check with Paragon to see if that the
mhm.
label on that field is customizable to make it more clear. So we'll have more follow up on that.
Okay.
You also, all right, I'm getting there. All right, so that was Jasa. And then Katie, how far back is the system automatically pulling for sold dates? 6 months question.
It's going to pull as close as it possibly can. And then as it has to move out, because let's say nothing has sold near it in the last 3 months or 6 months, and it goes back 9 and it catches it at that point. That's what it's going to do.
Okay, these show pending and sold. Can we pull in active?
It will pull actives. It just didn't for this one because there wasn't an active property around for this particular comp. But it will pull actives.
Okay, I put an address in and it pulled up the neighbor's house. How would I fix that if the property address I entered is correct, but it's pulling the wrong home for I'm assuming for the subject property.
Are we talking about on the map, or are we talking about where it fills in that you've clicked it, that you have selected it from the address bar, you pulled that property, and then it's got the details for the neighbor?
Bobby, you can unmute if you'd like and chime in. If you don't want to play telephone with me, feel free to do that, or you can message in the chat. It's a good question. So
Mhm.
I'm guessing you're putting an address, and either the wrong property information is coming up or the actual wrong address. Okay, here we go. Wait, somebody mentioned
Yeah,
here.
so it actually pulled up the wrong property. It pulled up the neighbor's property for the photo and for the information. It didn't
Oh,
have the correct information neither.
Okay. It's a couple of different things. I have done it where I have pulled in an address and it has an additional lot with it. And so it pulled over all the lot information and not the house. And that has to do with how it is at the county. And then your situation, it's got to have something to do with the county, is my guess. And if you'd like to, Bobby, I can jump on with you or stay on with you after, or we can schedule a time and I can walk through that so I can see what it's doing so we can figure out why it's doing it. My guess is something at the county needs to be corrected and
Okay.
how it's pulling over. But I don't know that for sure. And without seeing it, I'm not sure if I'm really answering your question well or not, but it's been my experience using the system, and I've been using it, trying to get it working with Paragon for a couple of years now. All of us have been. And we've had that situation come up, and both times it had something to do with it at the county.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
all right. We have some more about square foot. So, and these are
Yep.
actually very helpful. Okay, so Adam says it looks like it's pulling total finished square feet, 7,800. Cherrywood is 840 square foot above grade. So Adam said that, and then Kelly pointed out that the house that she pulled for comps was coming in with only above grade square feet.
Mhm.
The house I was pulling comps for. So the subject property was only doing above grade square feet, but the comps that came up seemed to include finished below grade space. And then there's just one more with more information about that. I pulled up my house and the comps are varied. Some of them total square feet, and some are only above, some are total. Uh, so basically, the feedback from this that I will say is we need to look into this more, and find out why that's happening
Mhm.
and find out exactly what's calculating. I will also say, and I don't know, JC, if you have that turned on for this. I don't think so because it's different. You can have it pull from property. It pulls from the MLS, but you can also have it turned on so it also pulls from public records if it hasn't been listed. But it doesn't look like that's indicated differently, I think, if it came from public records,
It
right?
is. It is. And I don't have it turned
Okay.
on because I want to make sure that I show you what you can turn on in settings. And so if
Perfect.
I already have it turned on, then I can't show you how to turn it on.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely need to find that out because if that's approximate square feet is only including above
mhm.
grade, it needs to say that. If it's including total,
Yep,
it needs to say that. So long
that'll be
story
some.
short, Thank
That'll
you
be,
all for the information. And yeah, we will come back to you with that. We'll do
yep,
some digging.
that'll be
These are really
something that we
great.
go to Paragon directly to, and we'll ask them, and I will send an email out to all of you with the information that we find out. Okay, regroup here. Where was I? We did manually. Did we do an adjustment? Do I have an adjustment on here? Yep, we have an adjustment. So I could, at this point, if you saw I got interrupted on this one, so, which is fine. But let's say I had to jump out of here and I had to look something up, and I did a few things, and then I came back of it. You'll notice that this property is in progress. It automatically saves where you're at so that if you do have that interruption, you can come back in there by just clicking edit. These say view CMA because I had actually pulled those already. I had already generated a report. So we're going to jump back into this one. And here again, it brings me in at the top. I could adjust this as I needed and then click next. And it picks me back right where I was. Okay. Okay. So you could manually enter. Now from here at this point, I could generate my CMA. And it's pulled, it's looking like that very first one that I showed you where it's pulling the house in here from Google. And here's where you'll see I could add my own picture here if I wanted to. And it's just going to pull up your files and you're going to go through those as needed, pick the one that you want. And then it puts your photo in there for you. And that will be the photo that will be on your CMA. If you didn't grab the right one, you can throw it away right here in the trash can and then redo it. I have in here a default introduction on mine. Maybe I want to edit this one. Maybe I want to personalize it a little more and use their name. I could set it as my EasyCMA introduction default here if I wanted to. There is a place that you can do it in settings, which is where I did it, that you can do it. But my point being is you can edit that. And then it gives you your suggested price. You can change this if you want to. If you wanted to show a particular price or on here, you can. If you want to change this and have it be 270, I think I have an extra zero there. It's going to give you a message. There we go. If you come out of the range, let's say I put this at 290, I'm out of that range. And so it's going to give me a little note. I'll just show you what it does. It's going to give me a note telling me that my suggested list price range needs to be adjusted. So I would want to adjust that so that it is showing the right thing there too. And I'm just going to do this. And then I can save that. Okay, so then it lists the property details. I can edit if I notice at this point that, oh, shoot, there is a partial bathroom on here and I forgot to make that change. I could do that now. Okay. The information that you see on here is what, if you were to send that report, they're going to see it with the exception of these edit boxes. They're not going to see those. So this is what you're going to see, but the information they're going to see is going to be very similar. It's then going to have a map view. There's also a side-by-side view. So you can change that view as how you want to see those properties. And then it lists below those tiles with the properties on them. They can click on those properties and view all the pictures and have the information as well. You can edit your comps again if you see one in there and go, oh shoot, that one doesn't belong there. I don't like that one. I want that one out. You can go ahead and do that. It gives you some comparable pricing, just a summary, puts it in a nice little pie chart, I guess is what you would call that, by pendings and solds. If I had actives would be on there, and it gives you some stats there for you as well. It does it for you. And then depending on what you have personalized, your Paragon Connect is going to personalize what it pulls in for you. For me, I've got my picture in there, my phone number, email address, along with a couple of social media pieces. If you don't have social media, it just isn't going to show up. It's not going to look like you have missed anything. Okay. So you can do it from there. From here, you could share this if you were ready. I want to show you a couple of other things that you can do. You can associate this CMA with a contact. So you can assign it a contact. When you click on that second icon at the top, I did that rather fast. Let me try that again. The home button, the second one is assign contact. It brings up your contacts. You can choose the one that you want. And assign that. Actually, I didn't want it assigned to that person, so I'm going to do that again. There you go. Assign, and now it has been assigned to that person. I can also add documents, okay? So I can add additional documents by clicking on that little piece of paper icon at the upper right. I can add documents in there. Maybe I always like to have a paper in there that has something, a write-up about my company. Maybe I have something I want to add up. Maybe I work with a team and I want to say this, here's who we are. Maybe I want to have, an agent resume in there, any number of things. So to do that, you just click on that little piece of paper thing that is for your documents. You click the plus. You can use your document library or add to a CMA. So if you had things already uploaded, you just click on it. It will show you that. And then you could click add. And then if I wanted to add more, again, I get that choice. I can add a CMA document. Maybe I didn't see it in there. And again, it brings it up just like I would anything else where I'm adding a document. I'm going to choose my file. And documents. And I'm going to add the importance of pricing. And then I'm going to name it. Hopefully not typo it wrong. There we go. And then it will add that to my CMA. Now where that's going to show up at is you'll see the documents. I can manage them here. So maybe I want to take that agent resume out of there. I could just click on that and make that adjustment. To print it, however, let's say you're ready to go. You want to print your CMA because you're going to take that CMA, you're going to go off to your appointment. So to print it, you're going to a little print icon up there. It does take a few minutes to do it. So don't wait till the last second and you're under the gun and you got to go now. Okay, because it's going to take a couple minutes. It's bringing a lot of information together, especially if you've added additional documents. So just be aware of that. Oh, come on.
Hey, JC, while this is doing its thing, do you have time for a couple more questions?
I always have time for a couple of questions. What do we got?
Cool. So the first one is, are you able to change the price on a pending property if you know the sale price?
You cannot.
All right. Then the second one, in a more remote area, will it keep going back and searching until it finds the full 10 comps, or will you just have a lower number?
You're going to have a lower number if it can't find the 10 comps. And that's where it becomes important. At least it would be for me if I were doing agent things again, I would want to be able to add comps in. And that is something I'm going to show you how to do. Okay, so it pulled it together for me. And it changes the format out a little bit because it's now going to be for a print document, but it's got my cover page on there. It's got the introduction on there, puts my information nicely off to the side. It gives that map, all the information about the property, my summary of comparables side by side. So I can go through and I can talk with them about those things. It gives that summary report, giving me some for the number of people that we walk in with and they want to see all this stuff and I need it there to be able to talk effectively about what it is I'm showing them. That agent resume that I added, my importance of intelligent pricing is in there. Any other things that you wanted to add, that is all there. Now I could download that and save it to my computer at this point, or I could go ahead and click that print button. Questions about printing?
Not about printing, but we did get another one in chat here.
Yeah.
Are you able to add a field for adjustments, or are you limited to the pre-populated fields?
We're going to do that. You can customize those adjustments so that it happens for you every time automatically if you want it to. Okay, But before we go there, we're almost there. But before we go there, we're going to go ahead and jump into, I'm going to show you how to share this in other ways besides printing it. Because honestly, a lot of times we want to email it ahead of time. And now you can text it. Because remember, this is in Paragon Connect, which you can do this on your phone, guys. So sitting in your car between appointments, you could be doing a CMA. And then you could text it. So the little share button's down here. And if I were on my mobile device, it would have a text option above here, and then I could text it. But to email it, I would click on that and it pops up, and I can pull from my contacts. I could rename my subject. I could type in a little message here, and then I would click send, and off it went. So that is how simple it goes. Now, let's talk about some of the other things that you can do here. Or let's go home. I'm in my CMA reports, or not the reports, but in the home page for CMA. I can search. Let's say I've got tons of CMAs in here and I don't want to have to page through all those. I can search for the address that I want by clicking on the magnifying glass up here in the upper right-hand corner. You click on that, you start typing in your address, it will bring it up for you. Maybe. It should have. No, it's going to make me start a new one. I don't know why that's happening. Well, that's embarrassing to be in front of all these people and have it not do what it was doing when I did this earlier. So you can search though. The other thing that you can do is you want to go through your settings. So click on the gear, that is your settings, and you have some things that you can customize here, guys. Your adjustment defaults, that question we just had. Can you preset values for your comparables? Mine is off. I'm going to turn that on. And then I would add what prices do I want it to add or subtract on here when there's a difference in bedroom. So I'm just going to put in some weird figures. Please understand, I know these aren't great figures and I'm just making them up and being ridiculous because I don't want anybody to think that they can walk out of this class and use these numbers, okay? So I'm going to say it's $8,000 for a bedroom and $500 for a bathroom, and a partial is $100, and living space, approximate living space, living square footage, I'm going to say we'll give it a $10,000 every time it's off more or less than 50. And then garage capacity, if there's more, you know, one more or one less, it's going to add or subtract off the comparable. Let's just say 2,000. And then I could assign a lot size. If I was doing something with acres and I wanted to have a price per acres, I could put something in there. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Once I click save, it will automatically, every time I do a CMA, apply these for me. Now I can leave them here if I want to. I'm not gonna save those because I don't want them in here. But if I wanted to save them, I would click on save, and then you would see that it would make those, you know what, let's go ahead and save them. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, so nope, just hit my back button, and let's view this one. And I'm going to regenerate it. Maybe. Generate new comps. If you've had a CMA, maybe you did one with somebody and they decided, no, this isn't really the time. I want to do these things that you suggested that would get me into that next price range. And they come back and it's been three months, 6 months, and you want to refresh that old CMA that you did. You can put in here what closing date you want it to use. So I'm going to go back to July. You can adjust bedrooms and bathrooms how you want it to be looking for. Lot size, all of the things that you would want to put in there, okay? And when you're done, generate new comps, and it will now bring new comps for you. And this is what I wanted to show you. All of those adjustments that I made, because I have them, I've done them, I saved them, and the button is on, it's making those adjustments for me. You don't have to do it manually every single time. You can if you want to. And all you have to do is click your adjustments. Questions about that?
There is one in chat here. Can you sort by days on market?
Meaning sort your comps on days on market?
Serena said yes.
Okay. You can't sort it, but you can edit it. So you could go to the top up here and click on edit comp order and then click and pull it and put it in the order that you want. You'd have to take a look at it and know which way you wanted it to be.
And then is there a way to add in your own adjustment item? For example, they said if a house has a pool and the other one does not, can you note that doing this?
What I would do is I would click on let's say this one has the pool, okay? And I would do an adjustment and I could put a note in here so that that note is now going to show up. And that's what I would do. It's not going to be an adjustment field like these are. Right, answer your question?
Wait and see if she says anything. Well, we're waiting on Jitty to confirm if that answers the question for her. Someone said, are you able to adjust the subject info if you pull the listing from MLS or only if you've added it to the MLS?
I'm not understanding the question, and it's a me thing. So run that by me one more time. I think my brain was listening and then it went, and then it came back. So help me here.
Yeah. So how I'm reading it, and Tyler, definitely jump in if I'm reading it incorrectly. So if you're pulling a subject property and it's one of my listings, are you able to edit the information on the subject property, or would it be one that you would have to put in?
No, sorry, at the beginning, and I don't know the comps or the subjects that you're using that you're showing us.
Right.
If at the very beginning there was the option of pulling a past MLS listing or putting it in yourself. And so the one you're showing us how to adjust the subjects, I just didn't know if those are ones that you added yourself by searching the address or if those were MLS listings that you pulled. Because right now in the MLS, if you use a subject as an existing listing as a subject, you can't edit those fields.
So, okay. I can use the listing ID number to pull it up here. Okay. And then I would have to enter the MLS ID number. And because I don't have an active license, because I'm your trainer, I don't have any listings. So I can't pull it that way, which is why I always do it by address. I'm pulling up somebody else's. So you could absolutely do that. But when you are doing a new listing, and I'm just going to do an address search here, and where's my file folder? Let's do 6120 South 167. 6120 South 167. There it is. It's pulling it up from Google. Yep, that's where I want it. I can edit these details. Is this what you're asking me?
Right. So if you had put an MLS number and pulled it from the MLS instead of doing this from public record, I didn't know, are these fields editable if you do the
They are.
MLS? Okay.
They are.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. I'm sorry it took me so long to understand what you were asking me.
No, that's okay. That's probably my fault.
All right.
Oh, you got a couple more here real quick, JC.
Okay.
Will the completed CMA save?
Yes. So this one we actually finished. It's right there. And then if you come back to it later, you can edit this and you can generate new comps if you want to.
All right.
So to clarify, I'm sorry to jump in here, but just for my own clarification, and because we had a couple questions about it, the whole time you're working on these, it auto saves as you go, right? Like, so you don't have to go find like a save button. It just
no.
Okay, because I think that may be where some of the questions are too, is like It just automatically saves as
It's
you go.
automatically doing it for me, so that if I get that phone call or I get that interruption, somebody pops into my office and we get to talking, I walk away from it, or I take a phone call and I have to go look something else up somewhere, I can come back to the EasyCMA and that property and where I left off will be there. All you have to do is find it here. You don't have to actually go save as, you don't have to do any of that.
Well, and I think for me, when we've been playing with this for a long time, I think for me, like looking at JC's screen here, you can see that 16619 Monroe, it says edit there, whereas the other ones say view CMA. That's how I know those other ones were finished at some point.
Yep.
Versus the one that says edit, like, you started it, but didn't finish it.
And
But even if it's finished, you can go back and edit it.
Yes, and it will tell you when you last generated it. So this, I pick on Cherrywood because I know the people there. So this one here, I did one back in October, but I used it again today, and so I can tell the difference because this is the last one I did, but this is the one I was updating today. It's a brand new one that I'm doing today. I put it in as a total separate property. Now, in real estate world, if I were going to be doing a CMA on that property again, I would be grabbing this one here that I had worked on before, and then I would start editing and updating it with new fresh comps. And remember, you can do that by editing, edit property, clicking save. It's loading comps. It brings you to that next field. And now you're in that mode of you can edit your comp order, manually enter, or generate new comps. When you hit generate new comps, it allows you to update how you want it to search. So because I did this one back in October, now I want it to have closed states from October on, to now. So I could put that date in there. And I'm going to leave this open because it automatically brings me, but I could fill that date in. If something, maybe they finished a bathroom that was, maybe it has a basement and they finished off a bathroom downstairs and it's now completely done and I need to add a bathroom, I could do that. And then once you get everything to set the way you want it, you click that generate new comps and it's going to pull different comps than what I had before. And it applied all my adjustments. Questions?
We got 2 more in chat here.
Sure.
Is there a way to highlight items that you want to bring a potential seller's attention to, or to showcase, a certain listing that would be a better comparison?
You mean with an actual highlighter?
I think they mean in EasyCMA without having to go in with an actual highlighter and doing it.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that was what we were, where we were coming from. You're not going to be able to do that here, but when you save it to print it and then you save it as a PDF, if you pay for a subscription with PDF that allows you to edit, you would be able to do it there. That's a whole nother thing, guys.
All right, looks like that was a good one.
Okay.
And then the last one we have in here is just, can you remind me where you edit the general adjustments that will apply to all comps as opposed to the individual ones?
Because we're going right back there because there was a bunch of other things that you can customize that I didn't hit on. So going back, I'm at my home page, going to the gear for settings. Here's my adjustment defaults. This is where I would do that. So in this situation, we're just going to take those all out. Maybe I want to do mine manually. And now it's off and there's no adjustments being made. To have it make adjustments for you, you would turn this on and then you're going to fill out what you want it to say for each one of those categories. Okay. And then you click save. You don't click save, you're going to do it again. Then the next thing you have is comparable properties. Define how comparable properties are found. This is something that came up when we were in this. 1, do you want it to include public record comparables? I would, but that's a choice that you would have to make for yourself. And so I'm turning my button on. And then the next thing is keep comp data live. So do you want it to automatically reflect changes to comp status and price? So you do your CMA today, and it's in here. And now tomorrow, you're getting ready to go. Do you want it to automatically show if something closed over the night? I do. So I would turn that on and click save. The next thing is your CMA introduction. Do you want to have something in here that you always have something? So, you know, if you are in that hurry and you don't want to deal with doing a personalized message, you've got something in here. You can type it in. I did this. You could copy and paste it, but you've got something in here and it will always be there. Understand that while you're in your CMA, there's that edit, your introduction, so you can customize it and change it even if you've got a default in there. So if you do a default and then that doesn't work for the scenario that you're doing a CMA for, you can always change it. Okay, I'm going to make just one little change here. So the save button comes up, but once you get your message what you want, you click save. If you don't, you'll be doing it again. And then that document library. So if you don't want to have to go looking all the time for those documents that you like to use with your CMAs, you can upload them here. And then that way they're always there for you to choose when you're doing your CMA. And you do it just by clicking on the plus button. It's going to ask you to choose a file. When you click on that, it's going to bring up your files. And you're going to go to where you keep those. I'm going to have it about my company. I'm going to name it company information and upload. If I want to add more, I just keep going until I get the things in there that I want. The value of a real estate agent. Maybe my company provides a really great, thing on there. I want to add it. And value of, I'm just going to shortcut it here because for the sake of this. I could upload those. And now these documents are always going to be in my document library so that if I wanted to add them to a CMA, I can choose them. I can click on my document library and add them. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So there's that. And then this is a Paragon thing that provide feedback. This product has been out for a while. We've been working with Paragon for a very long time, getting it to work for our MLS because there were some things that had to match up, and it's changed a lot since it came out originally, and they are making improvements to it all the time based off of the feedback they get from you as agents. So I would highly encourage you, when you have an opportunity after you've used this a few times, to go ahead and tell them what your overall experience is, and as well as any comments or suggestions that you want to make. It's going to go directly to the people at Paragon who are doing the testing and stuff like that. I will never see it. We will never see it. It does not come to us. So you can do that. And that's how easy it is to do a CMA within CMA. Now, how to do your own comps and then jump into it. So what I'm going to do is I went back to my main home, not my CMA home, but I went to my home here, and I'm going to do a search, and it is 159. So for those of you who need to go, but you wanted to get your 1 hour of CAT, you've met your requirement, and if you need to go, you can. You're still going to get a copy of this recording, but for those of you who want to stay with me, I want to show you how to do this. And I also want to point out a couple other little things and then we'll be done. So feel free to hang out here with me if you want to. But if you've got to go and you're worried about getting that CAT, it is now 2 o'clock and you have met that requirement so long as you were present and all those things I talked about earlier. Okay, so enough of that.
Hey, JC, real quick, because we had a couple of questions pop up that in case people wanted to hear them, they would have the answer to. The first is, when you're doing the refresh, will it show if there was a price change adjustment like the next day if you come back to the EasyCMA? Or would you have to do the refresh again to make sure that's there?
I want to say that it does it for you, but because I'm not 100% feeling like, yes, I'm positive, I'm going to check and let you know.
Okay.
Do you need to refresh is the question.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to, but I want to make sure I'm right on that. So I will send all of you guys an email with that answer to that question.
Okay.
Well, and I'm thinking, sorry, I'm going to jump in on that one because, and Gary, please feel free to jump in. But I'm thinking also maybe, Gary, what you're asking is when it does automatically adjust because there's been a change to listing, as the agent or as the person receiving it, are you going to be able to, is there an indication that something changed to say, like basically, yeah, yesterday you got this and it was listed for 250, like say it was an active listing and it
Oh, that's a
automatically
different
adjusted to
question.
248. So I'm not sure which of those you were asking, Gary, but that's how I read your question. I'm not sure if that was the question, or if the question was, will it just automatically refresh? Because like JC, I think it does happen automatically, but I'm not sure if that was your question. So feel free to throw something in the chat if you want. So many questions.
They're great
Beth, feel free
questions, and
to
I'm glad that you're
jump
bringing
back
them.
in
This is what it's
and grab
for.
the next one.
Okay, so I am just
Oh,
going.
we had a couple more real quick, JC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
And
so
and
sorry.
No
Gary
problem.
said, Gary also said both. He means both.
Yep,
Like,
I
do
wrote
you
them
have to
both
make
down because I went, the
awesome?
other one's a very good question too. So I'm going to
Yeah.
find out on both.
All right. Real quick, someone wanted to know how they can add a team name.
A team name for your CMA. Ugh. I think, and I haven't tested this. I don't think you can.
Well, not from Paragon, right?
Not
Because
from
it's going to
Paragon.
auto-populate their
Yep.
agent information, but
It
I
is.
suppose they could include it on their welcome, right? Like, or their intro,
Yep,
and
that's
make
exact.
sure that it,
Yep,
adheres to state law.
yep. That's where I would put it because it's pulling from the information in Paragon Connect where you set up your profile settings and all that good stuff. That's where it's pulling from. But if you want to talk about your team, you could add a document or you could do it in that introduction.
All right, JC, two more and then I'll mute again for you. The first one is a CMA considered a form of advertisement, and should the brokerage name be included on it?
You will want to check with your broker to find out how they want you to handle that. That is going to be 100% up to how your broker wants it to be handled.
All right, then the last.
One question with that for me, because I don't have the CMA in front of me, is that information pulled in automatically on the report next to your contact information?
What information?
The name of the company you're with.
It
Well,
was on
let's
the
look.
test one that I did by my name below. There's my broker's logo, which pulled
Okay, I
from
thought
the
so.
MLS.
I think it does simply
That's
because
pretty standard across the country for,
Yeah, anywhere
for
your
every
contact
state.
information appears, your broker's name has to appear. That's the state
Yep.
law.
Yep.
But the system already does that for you by default.
I thought you were asking if it printed some verbiage. I apologize.
Thanks,
Okay.
Kelly.
All right, last one I had here for you, JC. It was someone had sent a copy of a CMA to themselves to test it as you were going through it, and it popped up with a Paragon login. Do you know what that could be?
From the look on my face, you can tell that I don't know what that is. And I'm not sure why you got that. And I would love to see it.
It was me.
It was you?
It was
Kelly?
me.
Can you
So
screenshot
it popped
it?
up. Yeah, when I opened the email, it said it gave me the option to open it in Paragon Connect app at the top. And when I clicked that, thinking, oh, an app view is going to be a better, viewing experience on my phone, it wanted me to log in. But I didn't email it to my email that I have associated with the MLS. I emailed it to an external email address. So how it recognized.
Go ahead, Denise. I see your hand up.
I think, and when I first saw your question, I wondered this, but I didn't test it on my own. I think it's because you're opening it on your cell phone and you have downloaded the Paragon Connect app. So I recognize that you had it. It's just like when you send like the collab link to somebody. I think if you send it, because JC, you test these all the time. I think if you were to open it like on your desktop, it would probably just open in like as a link, like almost like a public link.
Yeah,
I
it did
think
not
it's
do that on my
because you
desktop
have.
when I opened it on my desktop.
Okay, yeah, I think it's because you have the Paragon Connect app. You're already
Okay,
using that.
got it.
But I
your
wonder if
client
you
typically isn't
selected the
going to
other.
have that, so
They
it
wouldn't, because
be a
that's an
non-issue.
agent only. Right. They may have the collab center, but they're not going to have Paragon Connect. That's the agent version of
Right.
of the mobile app.
Okay.
That's okay.
Mystery solved. All right. Do we have any other questions that popped in there while we were chatting?
Nothing yet. So you're good to go.
So let's talk about how you pull your comps and now you're ready to put them into your CMA. And to save some time, I'm not doing it from there. I got click happy. I apologize. I'm going to go to one of my saved searches and I'm just going to utilize that and then adjust it a little bit.
And can you do this from Paragon Pro? Can you pull comps from Paragon Pro or because you're working in the Paragon Connect? You can do it in either, right? I just want to make sure.
You can. Because remember, I showed you, you can access, create CMA, but you can also, I didn't want to do that. I want to grab a save search. And then I'm going to add some solds. I want pendings and solds. And yeah. What am I doing wrong here? That's what I'm doing wrong. Okay. All right, it's not going to play nice. Fine.
Yeah, my trick with that is throwing list date or something to narrow it down to like the last 6 months or something.
Yeah, it's just not. It was pulling up not what I needed. All right. I'm going to go to my close date.
You'll want to use list date in case you're pulling in pendings.
I like to use closing dates, so that's what I'm going to stay with. I'm going to do bedrooms. I'm going to go with bathrooms. I just want to get ranch. I put my, yeah, I did. Style. All right, so pull some properties here. And I'm just going to grab a few of these. And let's just say I've looked them over and I've decided that these are the ones that I want to include. And I'm in Paragon Professional. I want to add them to my EasyCMA. I just am going to go here to my More button and then add to a CMA. So if I have an existing CMA that I want to add it to, I can add it from here. Or if I want to create an EasyCMA and start from fresh, I can do it from here. I need a subject property. So undo that. I'm just going to use the same one I've been picking on. And then, yep, that's the one I want. I can adjust my subject. And then click next. And it pulled over those comps that I pulled in. So you can do it from, if you wanted to start in Paragon Professional, or even if you could do this exact same thing in Paragon Connect. You're going to either add it to an existing one that you're working on, or you can add it to, you can do a brand new one. That simple. Did everybody see what I did there? Okay, so I have a couple other things here. In EasyCMA, you can assign a contact to your CMA. And I've done that here. What happens when you do that is when, well, I showed you how to do it, right? You assign a, yes, I did. What happens when you do that, when you look at your contact, so let's go to contacts. And then I'm looking for, there we go. And I'm looking at his contact card. It's showing me an EasyCMA tab, and it has the CMAs that I have assigned to this contact here. So I can view them right from my contact. The other thing that happens is if I want to look at their collab center, because I've got a collab center turned on for them, I can click on that, and I'm going to be viewing it in agent view, but I'm going to be seeing what they see. You'll see that a CMA tab popped up. You've got search activity and CMA. They can now see the CMAs that you have done. Okay, and this person has more than one, so they could choose which one they wanted to look at. So those are a couple extra little things that help you. If you've got somebody in your collab center, maybe they bought with you, now they're going to sell, and they have a collab center and you want to be able to have them see it within the collab center, you can certainly do that, and you do it by just assigning a contact to your property. Okay, let me run through, make sure I covered all the things I wanted to run through. And then we will open it up. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
You had one more kind of come in here, and it was,
Sure.
could you show how to save the CMA and just retrieve it again?
All you do is close out of it. It saves it for you. I'm still in the collab center. Hold on. La la. EasyCMA. It just saves it for you. Once you hit the generate, or were you asking once you've, maybe you were asking me something different. Maybe you were asking me from here when you go to print it and then you want to save it, you want to download that report to your computer. Because that's going to save just like any document. Give it a minute to generate the printable report. And
Thomas, since it was your question in chat here, if you wanted to unmute and provide some more information, you're more than welcome to.
There we go. So from here, it's made my report. I can print it. I happen to have a save as a PDF as one of my printer choices, so I could save it to my desktop, to my laptop, wherever it is I wanted to save it as a PDF right from here. Or maybe I don't do that. Don't do that. There's a download button here and you could download it and then save it to your computer. But you don't actually have to save the CMA, like do a save or a save as to save the CMA within Paragon Connect, because it automatically saves it for you.
Then how do we retrieve it later?
You retrieve it later. It's a great question. By, let's say I've left this, I'm out. I go back to EasyCMA. And the home page is going to have it here for me. And all I do is find the one that I want, view CMA.
Can you show how to get there from Paragon Pro, JC?
Yeah.
Because you can
I
do
sure
it from there too if people aren't in Connect already, I believe.
Okay, so I'm in Paragon Pro. You can create an EasyCMA. I don't think it's going to have it in saved. Yeah,
No, I
because
think
you're
you do
Paragon
have to go to
Pro.
create CMA. I think you have to go to create CMA again, and then it brings you in there. If you go there, I think the label there is a little funny because I think you can retrieve it there too. No, maybe not. Oh yeah, there it shows so you can do cancel and you can see all of yours here.
Right.
So that's the other way to do it.
Did I answer your question?
Got a head shake, so it looks like yes.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to open it up. I think I've shown you all the things that I wanted to show you today. I am going to open it up for questions. Before I do that, I'm going to stop the recording. We'll stop recording.